Theme music.
Yeah, theme music. Theme music. I'm thinking of
Insert theme music.
as much as I like the theme music, I may just start inserting random copyrighted music as a way of testing when we've really reached a height of attention.
How do we know that music moguls are listening?
That's the thing, right?
Yeah, if Quincy Jones writes a Dear Faggot email and tells me to fuck off playing his stuff in the intro, I'll be like, you should really have addressed that to Hey Tranny. She's the one in charge of this show. I just add personality.
I'm the one who actually mixes it and make these legal decisions. Also, it's under my name.
I'm just here to be sassy and provide the... I was going to say champagne, but not yet.
Not yet. Next episode.
Yeah. The bubbly episode.
I'm not cutting any of this out.
Good. Never cut it out.
Never cut it out. Editing. Editing is for people with a plan.
Oh, the subtitle to Please Shut Up should definitely be never edited out.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that'd be... what is the Never Stop... Never Stop Never... It's a hip-hop thing.
I should definitely know this then.
And then it came back around to Andy Samberg doing a film that is called like Never Stop, Never Stopping. And it's like a biopic of essentially himself if he was Justin Bieber. And it's amazing. And it's called Never Stop, Never Stopping.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like Andy Samberg. And not just because of the nose, but I do... A good nose is a good thing. It'll just set off the whole face. And Andy Samberg, he gives good nose.
Gives good nose. Andy Samberg gives
good nose.
I liked him on SNL, but I was worried that he was going to become like one of their... people when they get out of SNL either become really entertaining and great, like Will Ferrell or whatnot, or just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is terrible. I can't even think of his name right now, but the guy who did Joe Dirt. That's how little I actually...
David Spade.
Oh, you made me think of his
David
name.
Spade. I'm going to make you think about a lot about David Spade. What was that show he was on? It was a sitcom with, what's her name from Hot in Cleveland? Wendy Malick. I'm batting 1,000 here. Wendy Malick.
I know, I can picture
She was like the hot one. And... 8 billion bonus points. Laura San Giacomo from Stephen King's The Stand.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, she was in that show too.
How can you pull out memories of Stephen King's The Stand? That very
it remains so unsuccessful in actual day-to-day knowledge.
Very specific version of it too. Oh my God.
Because this was a terrible sitcom that I actually remember watching and enjoying back in the land before time, before the internet, when television was all terrible, but you just didn't know any better. And also, it was the background show that the family ended up watching when they were depressed on 6 Feet Under.
Oh, curious.
It was kind of a great tie. It's like you would only watch this show when you would experience great loss and occasional self-loathing.
I never watched 6 Feet Under because the pitch for it. All right, like the age that I was and stuff, the pitch of like, well, it's a drama about a family of undertakers, and it's just like, I am not here for any of this.
No, I'm sorry, that was such the wrong call. So the wrong call. Okay. 6 Feet Under is my favorite television show of all time.
Yeah.
Like, there's just absolute bar none still.
Okay.
Second, BoJack Horseman, I think. But, digressing.
Curious.
No, it's fantastic. I love dark humor.
Yeah.
Brent tells me all the time that I paint with dark colors when I'm being funny. I take that as a great compliment. No, I've been around funeral homes a strange amount.
Okay.
My grandmother was a housekeeper in a funeral home, and she gave us all a tour when I was probably 8.
Yeah.
And we went down into the basement, and there was like this, to my eyes at that age, a bed. But it was kind of like leaned back towards where like the pillow should be, and there was a toilet at the end. And I was like, what is that? And my grandmother, very respectful of not wanting to traumatize a young child, said, that's where they cut the head open and drain out the blood. And I love telling this story. I think it's hysterical.
Oh my.
So 6 Feet Under really appealed to me. Like, a dark comedy with an extremely relatable gay character set in a funeral home, like, I'm down. I'm down for 5 fantastic seasons, and the only, on that level, by far, series finale that I've ever seen, as far as I'm concerned.
Interesting. I didn't even know it was a dark comedy, so this is news.
Oh, it's hysterical. It's hysterical. There's tons of, like, weird magical realism where they just, like, burst into Broadway numbers in the middle of an awkward encounter, and then it'll just cut back to, like, oh, and, like, no, it's great. The start of every episode, somebody dies.
Okay.
Beginning next week, the start of every episode of The Industry is Doomed. Somebody dies.
Oh no, this is absolutely an episode of Shut Up right now. we'll record Industry later, I'm pretty damn sure, but when we start talking about television...
Okay, but I'm fine with preempting the regular show to get to the irregular show, because, no, it's so good. So the beginning of every episode, it starts with a cold open where somebody dies. And that person who dies is, the vast majority of the time, barring odd circumstances, the body at the Fisher family funeral home for that episode.
Which makes sense. It's almost like the celebrity murderer of the week.
Exactly. So, like, when a rare show begins with the main family, with the Fisher family, you know, that's who you tune in to watch, is the Fishers. So when a show begins with them, for a little bit, your brain is just like, all right, 6 Feet Under. And then it slowly dawns on you, the moment of horror, that somebody always dies in the cold open, and this is, like, the first time in, like, maybe a season and a half or something, where it hasn't opened with strangers. And it's just like, oh no. And so, you know, and I don't want to spoiler alert anything, so the one instance I'm thinking of where it's early on is, like, an old man drives up to the funeral home in his, like, gorgeous, like, old 50s car, I believe. And he puts an envelope on the dashboard, and he, like, basically falls asleep against the steering wheel and just quietly, gently passes away. And what he put on his steering wheel was his pre-need agreement, they call it, where it's, like, all the details prepaid of his funeral. He's just like, oh, today feels like the day. I better drive myself down to the local funeral home and make sure everything's prepared. And, yeah. The only, of course, fabricated detail, aside from, I'm sure this has probably happened somewhere, but they don't portray on film, thankfully, the effects of this happening in Los Angeles, presumably.
Ew.
Like, yeah. The windows are down as well, so, you know, okay, like, it's a dry heat, maybe, like, maybe that helps. Like,
it'll help.
It's not Halifax in
Eventually.
summer where, like, the living start to putrefy by, like, late July.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, no, you absolutely need to watch this. It's
I really should check that out. It's one of those things of, to get me into something that I see as being a drama, I have to put physical effort into it. I am just terrible at stuff on TV that is to be taken seriously. Show me a movie, I'm great. Sit me down and say, here's 18 hours of a very serious thing, and if it's not a documentary, I'm going to be like,
You and I are complete opposites. When I sit down to watch a movie, I kind of hope for disposable entertainment, because if there's characters I'm going to get engaged with, I'm just like, I actually, like, you got me invested in your storyline here, and now you're done in, like, an hour and 45 minutes. Like, what the fuck? Whereas, no, suspension of disbelief is a wonderful thing. I want to just relax and immerse myself in the world of these bizarre people, and if they're unappealing, then I'll tune out after an episode. Like, well, that's not worth my time. Goodbye.
See, and that's why, I want to immerse myself, but I want to immerse myself in bonkers. Just
is.
And that's what,
super
like,
is.
you know, a problem of, like, watching anything, even like House of Cards or something, is it's not bonkers enough. I'm bored.
Oh no, this is not that tone at all. No, like, there's a human foot left in a high school locker at one point. What else happens? There's, I love it, the dad. Hey man, whatever, spoiler. He dies in the first episode. Cool. He's the body in the cold open.
Okay.
Yeah, and, but he comes back, like, all the time.
But,
like
just as, like, a ghost?
As a ghost, not as, like, you know, it's never clarified.
It's not literal.
Which I love, because it's not like, nobody needs to know what, and it's like, the last thing you need is, like, some obnoxious cable television, like, spectro-analysis garbage. Like, no. No, so it's always left to the viewer's imagination, but, like, it's often very clear that it's their own psychological way of moving through something, because sometimes when one of the characters is at their worst, like, he or the other dead people that show up routinely can be very mean, and it's it's often ends up for their benefit in terms of like working through something. But he's one of the most hilarious characters on the show. He's fucking screaming. He's great, and he's back fairly regularly.
I'll obviously have to check it out now. Especially since I have nothing else at the moment to watch. I've gone through everything. Well, except for Kim's Convenience, I'm going to sit down and watch that.
Do you know who I mean by Lauren Ambrose?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you know her from?
That's it actually.
Okay, she was in she was in Torchwood,
which I really should actually know better because I've watched every goddamn episode. I was there for Torchwood.
Torchwood is only watchable for the first 3 seasons, though.
Oh, I know. Oh well, the first 3 seasons. So long as I can't remember, did that include the 3, 4, 5, or 5, 4, 5, 6, whatever? That was a great series. That's the one where aliens come down, obviously, because it's.
Oh yeah. That was.
And they take the kids.
Yes, that was. I think that was season 3.
Okay, yeah. I can't. The American
yes.
Sucked.
That was season 3. The American. Oh. That was fine. Okay, so yeah, she was in that, but she's also in Psycho Beach Party. Have you never seen Psycho Beach Party?
I've heard of, and I've heard that it's amazing.
Who is the drag queen that's in that? I don't even want to say drag queen. That feels like pigeonholing. Like this is like I believe the movie's director or writer or both, who also shows up playing like a hard-nosed lady cop, but like is very clearly like a man in like portraying a woman.
Yeah.
But like
we've had the internet.
Having lots of spoof fun about it and being super camp, but like never acknowledging it. It's great. But yeah, Lauren Ambrose is in this, and the movie has terrible reviews. And it's just one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen. It's bananas. You want bananas? Watch that movie. Psycho Beach Party. It's perfectly named too.
I've completely screwed up my phone. Here we go.
Yeah, I can't remember. This part we might edit out because it's just us Googling.
Oh God, no! You have to. Robert Lee King.
This part is brought to you by Google.
So, based on Charles Bush's hilarious long-running stage play, Psycho Beach Party is a wickedly fun satire of Hollywood film genre.
It has a rating of 53% approval on whatever the hell rating system that was. Oh, Rotten Tomato. No, it's great. Lauren Ambrose, hilarious.
I get the feeling that this is definitely a smarter thing than a lot of people assume.
Whoa. Listeners, do yourself a non-favor and Google Nicholas Brandon, who is also in it.
Holy shit. He does not look good.
Things have gone slightly Nick Nolte for Nick Brandon.
Slightly Nick Nolte.
So, you don't want to any level Nick Nolte it, but...
Good lord, that man has fallen apart. Both of them, all of them.
So what's the premise of this show for our listeners and those of us who suddenly became aware we were recording it on the other show?
So the entire purpose of Would You Please Shut Up is just talking about pop culture. If I feel like, or you feel like doing a movie review at some point, review away. If suddenly you have an essay on pop culture, essay away. If you just want to be like...
essay away,
essay away, essay. If you just want to be like, I really like watching The Venture Brothers, and yap for however long that goes, ta-da.
We'll have to have Brent and the guest star on that.
Oh God, yes.
Venture Brothers, oh yeah.
Yeah, both of us could probably go for days.
I'm glad you're more of a, from what I'm gathering, movie enthusiast than TV enthusiast, though, because I am an embarrassingly huge fan of a lot of television, a lot of well-done television. I don't watch crap, but, I watch probably too much TV, but it's some impressive stuff, and I'm guilty for a rewatch. At the 6 Feet Under, I have rewatched many times.
Whereas I get home and I usually throw either a Netflix or a movie I've downloaded on, or I just go to my YouTube feed and hit play for the day, and I don't watch network television unless it's a very specific thing. You got Star Trek back on? I'll watch that.
I just found out Because I don't ever look things up until suddenly I become aware of them and get very excited, apparently.
Yeah.
CBC TV is all free on demand now.
Really?
Like, on the old interwebs. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. They're supposed to be free everywhere.
I know. I used to get so annoyed I'd try to look something up and just not a thing. Come on. Schitt's Creek.
Oh.
So are you watching Schitt's Creek?
Yes. I have not seen the most recent episode.
Like, the best gay storyline going on television. It's just
such an incredible performance.
So adorable.
Yeah.
So well done. Dan Levy is immaculately dressed as David. Like, I'm jealous. Absolutely.
Everything about the character is great. I love that, you know, like, it's in any other show, this would be 1 or 2 episodes. Especially, like, you know, setting up the apothecary and all that. 1 or 2 episodes, failure.
And then it would just go away. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No. They commit to things.
They really do. They stick to this thing. Like, I didn't think it would last. I didn't think that show would last a season when I heard the premise. But then you go and watch it and you're like, oh my god, the Levies are amazing.
That's the thing. I was initially, like, you know, excited about the Levies. I didn't know Dan Levy at the time. I didn't realize that I was supposed to be married to him, nor did any of us, nor did he, apparently, or his wife. But Eugene Levy, you know, I'm, of course, a huge fan. I was and Catherine O'Hara.
Oh, Catherine
O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara, you know, forever.
Yeah, exactly. Just David. All the time in this house. Just we're constantly being Moira Rose. It's so much fun. We're constantly being Moira Rose, and oh my god, if this is the pop culture show, we're constantly saying, Miss Vanjie. Miss Vanjie. Have you heard of this? Are you aware of this at all? Are you aware of Vanessa Vanjie Mateo? Vanessa Vanjie Mateo.
I think that's, yeah.
Holy fuck. So, she got the boot on week 1 of season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
And she kind of talks like, I want to say Joe Pesci. But she's like this compact little Hispanic drag queen and is just fucking a scream in all of the little cutaway, like, talk over scenes. It's just, you're just so in love with her by the end of episode 1 and at the same time so entertained that anyone sounds like this.
Yeah, it's just like, you actually do sound...
I
never would have pegged it until you said Joe Pesci.
And then she gets the boot. And is as horrified as the viewing audience, obviously. So all she does is, as she's leaving, they always get, like... If anyone out there has never seen the show, the drag queen who loses the lip sync for your life, a lip sync contest weekly contest against another bottom position on this competition show, drag queen, they get like a hot minute to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Like, they get basically a cutaway line as they walk off stage, and so she just walks backwards off stage saying, Miss Vanjie, Miss Vanjie, Miss
That's brilliant.
Vanjie, like 3 times in the most, I like to think, unintentionally despondent voice, and oh my god. I watched it with my husband, and we're just cackling, just dying, and the entire next week, Miss Vanjie, just in the middle of a random conversation. Didn't even really think to, go outside of our little suburban bubble and see if anyone else had this response to it. Finally go online and realize, not just even RuPaul's Drag Race watchers have embraced this, an entirely new segment of humanity has become aware of the show, I like to think, because of this Miss Vanjie thing. It's unbelievable. RuPaul was almost reduced to tears on the judging panel. You see in episode 2. Episode 2 starts with everyone commenting on this exit line, and then Ru saying to another judge, Michelle Visage, something to the effect of, what was the name? I didn't catch it. And then getting in response, Miss Vanjie, to the point that she, is almost pissing her pants. Just perfect. I thought it was the most insane thing. Yeah. Watching it on the night it aired. I thought it was just, what the fuck has this person done? What? Miss Vanjie? And then it was just, if you're going to make something an earworm for the nation, for many nations apparently, something that will not quit, just by saying it 3 times, make it your fucking name. Yeah. What a branding effort. What a marketing genius. Just
set for life.
Miss Vanjie. Sure, everyone thinks she's a ghost, but fuck, just... It sticks, it stays forever. I don't even remember how we got to this, but that is the pop culture moment of the month, of the of longer, possibly a year. God only knows.
We should have that for every episode. The pop culture moment of the thing.
Pop culture moment of the, oh, my brain! It's perfect.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Miss Vanjie, Miss Vanjie, Miss Vanjie.
Miss Vanjie.
I feel like, did we not talk about that last week? Because we kept repeating somebody's name 3 times. How did we not repeat Miss Vanjie?
I think that was Whitman.
It wasn't.
We were complaining about
I feel like it was someone scarier than Whitman.
Other stuff.
I'll have to go back and check. But that was another show.
It was a 2-hour episode.
Not just another episode of it, but an entirely different podcast, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're now on 2 podcasts. Congratulations.
Yay!
Sorry, I'm looking over
at such breakneck speed.
There's a copy of Watchmen, and I just, I'm trying not to bring it up because that would
this
be...
This is the pop culture show.
It would be an 8-hour single episode.
Okay, I like to write. Yeah. You like to write. We both appreciate written things. Most of that is drawings, and yet it is still probably one of my favorite, I would say, novels of all time.
Yeah, it is brilliant. It cannot be recreated
the depth is
in
incredible.
Film.
It's so layered. It's so layered. Of course it was doomed to fail on film. I didn't realize it was doomed to fail as hugely, in my eyes, as it did.
Zack Snyder is the consummate first-year film school student. He always picks nothing he does is wrong. Everything he does is so fucking obvious. Oh, you're going to play that specific song at that exact moment? Yes, that is what you're trying to get people to think of, but you don't have to be so goddamn clueless as to literally do it.
Malin Ackerman is not a wooden actress.
No. No one in that is a wooden actor or actress or anything.
Nope, outside of that film.
Yeah.
Oh my god, everyone is a tree.
Yeah.
They're so wooden.
Yeah.
It's, she's so bad. Everyone's terrible. And it's not their fault. It's just, it's a horrible movie.
It really, and when you get...
It's like watching Natalie Portman struggle through The Phantom Menace. You're like, oh, you're not having fun either.
You're capable.
This is terrible.
And this is sad.
Oh, this is so bad. This is...
Or watching, it's like watching Hayden Christensen in Life as a House and being like, oh, that's why you were hired. Because you were amazing when you're working with, Kevin Kline.
It's hard to believe that given the right stuff, Hayden Christensen isn't terrible. And I say it's hard to believe because I've seen the prequels or the whatever you want to call them. Ugh. Life as a House, he was great. But, I mean, if you're working beside Kevin Kline, I can imagine that, a pile of shit would be great.
Well, yeah, you have to do this, retroactive, reflexive thing of,
Kevin Kline's amazing. It just rolls off him in so many directions that you can't help but pick it up.
Just enjoying Kevin Kline. Would this be fine if it was a mirror and he was just reciting his lines to that?
You're seeing it all through a Kleinean lens.
Lens.
What was the movie where he was the gay teacher? How do I forget that? This is one of my favorite films. How have I forgotten this? I'm so upset.
And he gets outed because his student wins an award?
In and Out?
Yeah.
In and Out. Yes.
In and Out.
What is her name? She's so big. Joan Cusack is amazing in that.
Joan Cusack is fantastic in everything she has ever done.
It's true.
She always plays.
Yeah, she
plays Joan Cusack,
who is
your best friend.
Oh my god, so good. Kevin Kline is. I feel like he never plays Kevin Kline, and is also always amazing.
Yes. Well, I'd say he played Kevin Kline in Wild Wild West.
I don't think I saw Wild Wild West.
So he's playing a U.S. Marshal, but it's a U.S. Marshal who uses gadgets and costumes, and it's because he's playing characters as his character.
Okay.
His base character for this guy is more or less just Kevin Kline dressed like it's the 1870s.
Okay.
With Will Smith. And a theme song.
Oh, yes.
By Cisco.
Oh, dear. Yeah. I remember now all the reasons I didn't see it.
Oh, it's fantastic. Actually, no, there's an even better reason to see that film. And I know, it's a terrible film. Mm-hmm. The director-writer of it is a terrible person who almost made Superman fight a giant robot spider. The same giant robot spider that appears in Wild Wild West, by the way.
I just can't with, any modern superhero movie.
No! There's a fight to be had, because I love the
Let's
MCU.
do it. Alright, no, I mean, that's a big statement. Oh, no, I take it all back. the Avengers, the first one.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's
fantastic.
Really.
I had so much fun. But I got Joss Whedon into going to see it.
Oh, okay.
Like, I would not have been like... If it's not Batman, I don't have time for tights, basically. And I know, and I...
No, I wasn't even going there.
I know, but...
I was going to say, you need to have space for Taika Waititi and the Russo brothers. They're amazing.
I'm also going to take back anything negative said about superheroes, only because people might think it applies to Guardians of the Galaxy, and it does not.
Oh yeah, and of course, Gunn. Because, I mean, well, there's the thing. Disney has realized, okay, we've made X amount of $1 billion with this. We can go a little stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And so they now are in the hands of the guys who wrote and directed 21 and 22 Jump Street.
Mm.
Gunn, who, as we noted last week, is involved in a video game about a cheerleader who fights zombies.
The show didn't exist last week. What a great opportunity to plug our other show.
Oh, yeah! Anyway...
Like, we're not even going to name it now. I was like, fuck you, you'll find it.
You'll find... The Industry is Doomed is a separate episode and show from Would You Please Shut Up? Or Please Would You Shut Up? Or whatever the hell I named this thing.
Man, we just said theme music a bunch at the start of this.
Yes, we did.
That should absolutely be our...
Actually, the very first episode...
That should be our theme music.
Which has been removed from iTunes because it's me just literally talking for half an hour and making shit up as I go.
I thought it was explicit content, that's why I took it down. But... Which is impressive for a podcast. It's like, if it's so explicit that your ears can't handle it, that's really saying something.
There's a little box I check that says explicit, and it means that they don't touch it.
Okay.
But I've actually been curious about that. Please do email in if, dear listener, if you have an opinion on this. I don't know whether to check this explicit or not, because while we swear like the Dickens,
any podcast where anyone says like the Dickens cannot possibly be explicit content.
Oh God, that's what we need to do. We need to do an explicit content podcast that is just about Dickensian stuff called Like the Dickens.
Oh. Featuring a guest host that's definitely not me.
This book is trite, and I hate it, and I hate everyone in it.
No, that was the movie. I love the book. To get us back to the Watchmen.
Yes. Oh, yes, right. So...
Just for talking about, because the format of the graphic novel, where the chapters kind of begin with almost like a little mini scrapbook of information, like newspaper articles, old, like, magazine clippings, like just a lot of random backstory stuff that really fleshes out the characters so well, and it's just, just plopped in exactly where you need it, just to break up the story. It's really well done. I love the structure of it.
That right there is why I love Alan Moore. Like, you've got a copy of Watchmen. I have a copy of everything he has ever done. I'm not joking. Everything. I have a full set of the magazine he released 10 years ago. I have a copy of his novel, one of only 3 in the province. I love
How do you know how many copies of his novel are in the province?
Because these things are so fucking rare that they can be tracked. I have a copy of The Slow Chocolate Autopsy. There are 2 in Canada. I own 1. They were only printed once in England because Alan Moore paid for it.
I'd just like to put it out there, if people send me $20, I will send them back your address.
Send me books! Send me books! To be
that's
fair,
not why I'm in Thanksgiving.
Yes, I'm sure, but I'm sure. I should note, that's not actually written by Alan Moore, that's written by Ian Sinclair, who works constantly with Alan Moore as essentially like artistic partner.
What did you think of V for Vendetta, the movie and the book?
I of course adore them both for different reasons. The book is a brilliant political statement and way of looking at how politics crumbles and how events actually occur. The movie is I just almost spilled my wine.
You're drinking?
Oh God, no! Is a terrific LGBT film. And
that's what I was...
Period. Circle, underline. I once got into a big old fight back at university with my roommate's girlfriend, because I kept insisting, no, this movie is about, and this is before I was out, this movie is about trans people. This movie is about being transgender. And she freaked out and screamed at me and said, no, it's about people being superhero and blowing stuff up. I said, no, it's about someone whose identity at first doesn't matter, choosing to become who they feel they are, and asserting it so hard that it destroys the state. Fuck you.
That's why you post so many pretty pictures of yourself.
Yeah.
Trying to destroy the state through glamour.
Tear it down and make it look fabulous.
That's gotta be a tagline for something. Oh, that's our new political party, which will launch after episode 8.
Tear it down and make it look fabulous.
That's it, exactly.
I love it already.
This is a good show. I like starting off with the pop culture discussion before we get into meaty issues.
That's the thing. It kind of like really flows well.
Pepperoni at the worst. It does flow well. Well, we're both really kind of pop culture dorks in different ways. But I like that we are in different ways as well. Like, we do have overlapping interests, but yeah, I'm gonna dork out hard over some Star Trek at some point.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And not like any new movies or anything. Like, nope. And I know you'll join me on like the Discovery, but like.
But we're gonna
go into Deep Space Nine, and we're gonna go into some obnoxious detail.
Yeah, I'm going to at some point lay out my plan to save the Star Trek Next Generation films by brutally torturing Jean-Luc Picard until he's broken.
How many lights will we see? When you're done.
Oh God.
He won't see any lights when I'm finished.
He's gonna be speaking Cardassian by then.
That's great. Speaking of Cardassians.
Oh no.
The book that Andrew J. Robinson wrote. I think that's his name. Andrew Robinson. I think. Yeah, played Garak the Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastically.
Yeah.
And read that character as, I believe, bisexual in his head in early.
Yeah, if not like pretty clearly gay.
I would buy some bisexuality to that because I would buy some bisexuality.
One
Would that I
could.
Please. He does play it like there's a definite kind of almost like a genteel air to him, which is like for a Cardassian, who are these like horrifying fascists essentially.
Like outright fascist. That was like their starting point of like, let's have a species that is fascist.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's explain what the Holocaust would look like on an alien world, and then make these guys the baddies. And then this guy is the kind of delicate, genteel tailor and spy version of it. What a great character.
So
but
good.
Just portrayed so well by Andrew Robinson, and he wrote a book explaining the backstory of his character and furthering the story a little bit past what happened at the end of Deep Space Nine with it. And it's great. It's just great. It's so much fun. It doesn't jar at all. Like, sometimes you'll read something like that and it's just like, why did you... Well, sometimes you'll read something like that and it's like, Hollywood shouldn't write. And then other times you'll read something like that, it's just like, this is great, but it doesn't jar with... Or it does jar with the character. Like, it doesn't...
And sometimes you read it and it's
this is
the Shatner-verse. Oh God.
Exactly. It's like, oh, so that's how you saw what you were portraying on screen all those years. We never read it that way. Like,
no one else on Earth but you, William.
No. You read this and it's like, oh, you saw Garak in your head exactly the way we did every episode. Thank you for filling us in on some extra information and providing us with some, like, solid entertainment.
Yeah, well, Garak was so good.
A Station in Time. That's the name of it.
That's a great name for it.
Well, yeah.
But like the episodes where it's just him and Julian.
Taylor. It's almost a little too on the nose,
but the episodes where it's just him and Julian were so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like playing spies and being spies while Julian's playing one. And it's like, oh,
Julian
it's so
Bashir
cool.
was such a goddamn irritating character, and yet so many of the best moments in the show revolved around him and Garak or him and O'Brien.
Yeah. Well, Colm Meaney's like such an amazing performer. Was it Colm Meaney? Yeah, Colm Meaney. Colm. You have to say
That's
that
a hard name.
Fucking
That's a rough name.
Yeah.
Colm Meaney, no less.
Right. Apparently, whenever he got a script, like for the first 4 seasons of DS9, every episode that he was on was called hurting Miles O'Brien or something like that.
Oh, they loved to inflict pain and suffering on Miles O'Brien like nobody else.
It was the greatest acting experience he ever had because all he had to do was just suffer.
Just be devastated. Yeah, they punish O'Brien with suffering the way they punish Harry Kim on Voyager with humiliation and irrelevance.
Mm-hmm. And the way they punish Worf with like slaps to the face and having to throw himself halfway across
and an excuse to go while facing the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, and far too many references to Klingon opera.
Mm-hmm.
Far too many.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be in my hometown growing up a group called CAG. They were the Klingon Action Group, and they were just like the only cosplayers I had ever seen. And at first glance, it was just like the dorkiest thing you could ever experience in your life.
God, yes.
And then at second glance, and just like most people's first exposure to cosplay, they were clearly having a fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing all of it for charity. It was hysterical. I was like, alright, the Klingons personally have never done it for me in the way that I would actually want to emulate them.
Yeah.
But, like, you guys are seriously enjoying yourselves and benefiting somebody. Like, well done.
That's the thing. The people who are into Klingons are really into it. They'll spend enormous amounts of money dressing like them.
I've never understood it. They're like boring pirates that talk about honor all the time and clearly don't have any idea what it means.
Right?
Like,
they're
I've just offended a lot of Klingon fans.
They're boring pirates. They're boring Vikings. They're boring warrior Mongols. They're everything that's boring, and yet like you can learn their entire language. Yeah. You can do it on Duolingo. Who should be giving us money? Yeah.
They should at least give me my subscription for free, fuckers. Hi, you've just finished 30 seconds of learning something. Do you want to subscribe? Let me see. You've asked me every 30 seconds for the last few months. No. Christ.
There's Shakespeare that has been
released
in it. There's this great pop culture reviewer.
Us?
Yeah, us. You mean us?
They're fantastic.
I can't believe I've completely forgotten his name. See, this is why I can't do this show alone, because it's mostly me sitting there going, what the hell was that guy's name? What was his name? Anyway, Kyle Calgren. He once a year he does this couple of segments on Shakespeare films. Basically, like, finds the weirdest version of any Shakespeare you can have and then talks about it.
Okay.
And this one time he did like a breakdown of what it means to take Hamlet and to translate it into an incomplete language like Klingon. Because there aren't Klingon doesn't have a full vocabulary.
You know the line that inspired that, right?
Yeah. Was it you haven't heard?
You haven't heard Shakespeare till you've heard him in the original Klingon.
The original Klingon. And
so good.
It just starts. It started as like that one line, which was a throwaway by a Shakespearean actor to another Shakespearean actor,
summing up the entire appeal of the actually well portrayed Klingon characters.
Right.
Like that's the kind of cocky cultural superiority, but that is self-aware and wry. That at its best works so well in Klingons, and then the rest of the time they're just clanking around, yelling about blood wine, eating worms, and just like being generally irritating.
Yeah, if a gun was held to my head and said you're allowed to have one thing of Trek, Undiscovered Country is absolutely my choice. The characters are the best in it. The plot line is.
Which one's Undiscovered Country?
That's the one that's from.
Oh,
that line's from. So like
every time I've seen all of the original Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
It's been the Trekmas Day movie marathon.
Oh, so by the time you reach number 6,
I've been like soused. Like no, like.
And you have to get through Final Frontier to get to it.
Lord knows it's all haze, but like yeah.
What does God need with a starship?
Take a drink every time William Shatner grandstands. Like you're just done. Like 20 minutes in.
You're dead by the time he hits God.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of come around for like oh God. I don't even know what the last one was that wasn't, a hybrid with Johnny Picard.
Okay, so Undiscovered Country is technically the last original, within generations.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that explains why I definitely don't remember Undiscovered Country. No, I'm just getting.
It's supposed to be their true goodbye for the original cast, and they all pose at the very the last shot is them all posed together triumphant, successful. The Klingons are finally going to be peaceful with the Federation, and they're instead of like title cards coming down with their names, they sign each title card, and then it flies off into space, and the next one comes up, and it's this moment of like, oh God,
That's
I
impressive.
loved you all. Yeah.
And then William Shatner's wanted that.
Yeah. And then Shatner's like, oh wait, man, I still want to be Kirk, and everyone was like, but we don't want you to be. Where was it?
You know what? I bet they actually probably begged him to be in that because they're like, we just don't know that the TNG cast can like
That's
film an actual movie. Okay, see? That network executives are there's no one worse than a network executive.
Mm-hmm.
Network executives, you canceled Firefly. You're the dumbest people alive. Just so many mistakes. And that movie, I won't say the whole movie was one of them, but
there's so much. Generations sets off the problems that necessitate having to break Jean-Luc Picard. And, it's like, they weren't, in every single TNG film they made, there's a hint of something that could be amazing. Like, truly amazing.
Okay, alright, let's do this.
Okay, yeah, why
Generations?
not? So, Generations only needs one small fix. It needs two small fixes. So, the first one is obviously Kirk can't die that way. He can't have a bridge fall on him. That is stupid.
Meh.
What should happen is he's given an ambiguous ending. He should go back into the goddamn Nexus.
That would be nice.
So what happened to Kirk? No one knows.
No one knows.
He went back into the Nexus.
Yeah, you know what? No, I take that back. You're right. No one should know what happened to Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's too, say what we want, which is a lot about William Shatner. Like, no, he's too grand of a character. Like,
exactly. To have him end...
It's mundane.
Is too mundane. It's one thing for Spock to die, because he's at least slightly off from the center of that amazingness.
Sorry, he's not the captain.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone's allowed to die if they're not the captain.
So, first, that should happen. Second, Picard should be smarter about using the Nexus, because instead of just being like, oh, just drop me off right before we're about to lose. That seems a little stupid. But...
Well, if you want to go there, we can rip apart all of Star Trek.
Yes, exactly. But specifically, though...
Looking at you, Voyager.
Looking hard at you.
Looking at all the characters you killed in that last season and then went, but let's go back to that Wednesday.
Yeah, it never happened.
I digress, but that is a terrible goddamn show.
Yes, it is. And we will get to that eventually. But, alright, so the main thing to change is you need to focus on the fact that his entire family just died. His entire family just died, and...
Renee, Robert, what's her name? Robert. Probably started with R.
And...
They'll call her Renette.
And the Polaroid photos with the silver flashy things around the edges so that you know it's in the future.
I love how different science fiction makes you know that it's in the future.
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica. Why would any books, doorways, or anything have corners? Of course they're all chopped off.
No, we don't have corners. We're not gonna... Or like...
Where we're going, we don't need corners.
Or when they used to have the pads in Star Trek TNG, but instead of simply having one that you would change the program on, they would have a pile of these things.
Pile pads? Yeah. I love it. It's like,
just
as soon as the iPad came out, I was like, we're there. We're in TNG. This is great.
Give me 5 so I can carry them
look
around.
At this. I definitely don't need to be carrying 10 of these, and it's definitely not the future, so why? Oh, man. But then again, if we want to go why, every design aesthetic choice in the original series.
Which is why I hate when people were complaining about the look of Discovery, where it's like, no, Star Trek has to be the future of the moment it is released.
My God, when people go on about Klingons, like, but why do they look different at different times? Because there weren't really good makeup experts that you could afford on the budget that 60s Star Trek had on oh my God,
right?
Really?
Because you can't
Let's talk
do
more.
That.
No, anyone picking apart Discovery can fuck right off, and I realize I keep banging the gay moments in television and movies drum, but that's what I'm gonna do, because there just weren't any to bang about when I was growing up. Seriously, great portrayals of gay characters on Star Trek, which is so fucking overdue, and anyone who gives me any Trill-related nonsense can just... Well, I was gonna say eat a dick, but it's all about lesbians on that show, so they can just eat some Trill spots, I guess, I don't know, like... Fuck, no, we needed some legit representation. It's the future. We could all feel it coming back in the 90s. Like, we knew things were, socially liberaling up, thankfully, and, like...
Well, do you remember
we could start seeing ourselves on the local news, but we couldn't see ourselves in the future?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Do you remember Lieutenant Hawk?
Yes. Yes. So dreamy.
Who's
he would have made
I can't
great first gay character.
He's the currently a villain on DC's Legends of Tomorrow. He is a fantastic actor, and he is cheesy and hammy and great.
He was in Minority Report.
He was. I can never remember his name. He's also Dum Dum Dugan in Captain America.
Oh, you know what the rule for this show, for any actor that we really appreciate their work,
yeah,
but we cannot for the life of us remember their name, should be, that character is Margot Martindale.
Congratulations, Margot Martindale. You are fantastic on DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
I loved Margot Martindale as Lieutenant Hawk, and also in Minority Report, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, not a nuanced performance in that, but Margot Martindale, very enthusiastic.
Always does these great side character performances. Yeah.
Always. Mr. Margot Martindale.
Mr. Margot. I feel like it should absolutely adapt that way. So thank you, Margot. You're graying in the coolest way that an old man can. Because you still have that really tight hair from like the late 90s.
I'm sorry, it's beloved character actress, Margot Martindale. Such a fan. We should probably end it there.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
We should always end it on beloved character actress,
Margot Martindale. Thank you for listening to Would You Please Shut Up, or Please Would You Shut Up, or Shut Up Would You Please. Whichever I ended up naming this. We can be contacted over Twitter at wait a minute. Would you shut up or shut up please? We'll figure that out at a later time.
We still won't edit this though because we're just not into that.
God no, I don't want to edit. That's like I already put so much effort into making this look pretty to start with.
One of my favorite internet shows is I guess we're not going to end it right around now. We'll never end it if the moment strikes. Don't you worry, listening audience of dozens. We'll never end it if something comes to mind.
We should just do a live stream and just be done with it.
It would just go on for days. And followed by its sequel, The Trixie and Katya Show. Have you seen either of these?
No, I've heard of, but never seen.
Such
heavy
you showed and magical editing.
Yes! Oh my god, you showed it to me last week.
Yes.
Oh shit, that was... Yeah, like the most heavy-handed just...
It's so funny. I love it. The editing is almost as much a star, if not as much, as Trixie and Katya and sometimes Bob. Like, it's just, it's great. And I love the idea of being so impressed by that show that on the show that I'm on, fuck editing forever.
Fuck editing forever. Yeah.
Unless we ever, manage to secure even a phone call or reading a slight cease and desist letter from beloved character actress Margot Martindale. I'd edit that. I would. Just to make it sound kind and not like we should stop talking about her.
Yeah.
Because we'll never stop talking on whatever show this is about not shutting up.
This show in which we will not shut up.
Title pending.